Nekia Wright, and today I am recording a video for the Spiritual Highway, a Zimbabwean program. I thought I'd share. Let's see. What I've been reading a lot about is specifically for the Zimbabwean healers, and when the Europeans came and researched and were learning about the Nagas and the healers, and what they noticed was that there were less instances of like emotional disorders like schizophrenia and things like that, because people had the Naga to go and talk with, and the Europeans actually saw that it was more effective. The role of the Naga, specifically around emotional disorders, was quite effective, even more effective than what they had in Western culture, because it acknowledges the whole person. And if a person is experiencing something and they have only learned of the three-dimensional world that we live in, and they don't have any knowledge of other dimensions of reality or of their spirit or of like vibrational energy, then they may be receiving information or interpreting information and not know what it is or what to do with it. And it can be very unsettling, and people can become very anxious and frustrated around it, especially if you don't have anyone to communicate who you feel also takes you seriously. So that is something that in my research around through the Zanata program that I noticed, even from texts like research documents from back in the 80s, when folks were exploring these practices when the Europeans were. That's something that's been noted over and over again. And then how? So here's the next question. Okay, how do I heal or help people? Well, if you've ever come to any of my classes, I mean, I call myself a sound healer because I don't know any other words to describe it. And I am a healer in that I healed myself. I was suffering a lot from a lot of physical and emotional and spiritual ailments for many, many years, most of my life, as far back as I can remember. These symptoms manifested through like high blood pressure, extreme anxiety, a lot of like extreme paranoia. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I also had many stomach ailments and indigestion and constipation. I had a lot of different symptoms that I found were all connected to trauma, really, and unresolved trauma within my body that was manifesting in my body, manifesting in my spirit, and in my mind. And I spent many years looking outside of myself for ways to heal myself, and tried everything from your over-the-counter drugs to, your prescription medicines to, your other drugs and alcohol, and just like different ways of attempting to escape myself and to escape the trauma. And eventually I found a combination of eventually I turned my attention to myself, and I stopped looking outside of myself for an answer, and I started looking inward for an answer. And I was able to, I began practicing yoga. It was a slow process, but just little by little, and practicing breath work, and like exercise and breathing. Those two are key. And I started focusing on my diet, and I started shifting my diet, adding in more nutritious foods. I still eat junk food, but it's not a lifestyle. I eat junk food when I want to eat junk food, and I know that I can't survive off of junk food. So when I'm hungry, I eat food that will nourish my body. And that really, those three things really helped me to get a jump start into my life and into my being. And however, the vibrations, so for probably 30 years, for the first 30 years, I had been inundated with negative vibrations, with the negative vibrations of racism, of oppression, of sexism, of poverty, of every negative word that I had experienced, had said, every negative word that had been said to me, every negative action that had been done to me, every negative action I'd ever done to anyone else. All of these things were still stuck within my body. And so that is the beauty of sound,